Paul McKenna for PT Boxing. I'm here today with promoter Eddie Hearn. How are you, Eddie? You okay?
Very well, mate. How are you? Tired?
Fine, tired, but I'm okay. Just being here for the press conference of Rumble on the Humber.
It's very difficult to say quickly.
It is.
Rumble on the Humber.
Yeah.
But I've been sort of mumbling it quite a lot.
Rumble on the Humber.
Yeah,
so headlining by Luke Campbell against Tommy Coyle. It's a fight that's been building in the pipeline now, Eddie, for maybe a year or two. It's a really good fight, and a fight that Luke wants, a fight Tommy wants, and a fight that the fans certainly want. You know, it's going to be in Craven Park, a 20,000 seated arena, well, outdoor arena. You know, it's going to be a good fight. It is.
I think it's a fascinating fight. I think it's felt like it needed something, and the official eliminator for the WBC title just added that caveat, because I wouldn't want two of these fighters, or my own fighters, to go in and say, look, go in and have a big fight for a 12-round contest. Do you know what I mean? So that little caveat's important, and ultimately, you know, both men stand in each other's way to go on and challenge for the world title. So there's a lot on the line, not just the rivalry of East versus West, and you know, but literally this is someone really trying to, you know, achieve their dream and fight for the world title.
I think, as Luke just said there in the press conference, it is sort of a one-off thing that we're probably not going to see again. Two really good fighters in Luke Campbell and Tommy Coyle from the same city, fighting for as you've just said, the final eliminator for the WBC title, which is held by Jorge Linares. We've just seen
great fight,
him against Kevin Mitchell, and a really unlucky fight for Kevin. And you know, if either one, obviously one of them's going to be a winner, provided there's not a draw, hopefully. You know, they get the option to fight either Linares if he's still a champion at the time, or you know, if Mitchell gets his rematch, could even be a British fight against Mitchell.
For the winner, and that's the real caveat. You know, it's not just a fight, a local, you know,
with no meaning to it.
It's important now on a world level, not just to Hull and British boxing, but on a world level. And that adds extra spice and extra buzz and profile to the fight. As we've just mentioned there in the press conference as well, the undercard's got a few decent fights on. A lot of local lads from Hull, but Brian Rose in his rematch against Carson Jones, which we thought Liam Smith might have been fighting him for a little bit, but I think he's been trying to get the fight, but obviously we were able to nab in there and get the rematch. It's important for Brian to try and get that fight out of the memory. Tough fight. I think he'll be the underdog going into the fight. But you know, it's one of them. Was it a controversial stoppage or not? You know, he's definitely hurt. But he gets a chance now. It's irrelevant what happened before. Carson Jones will fancy his chances because he knows he can hurt him early.
Definitely.
But Brian Rose must win that fight if he's to have any future.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, that kind of level. So that's why it's a really important fight.
Yeah, definitely a really important fight for Brian. I'm sure he'll want the revenge on that fight. Also on the bill, Ricky Burns. We've just seen him, you know, a few months back, or maybe just a few months back now, against Omar Figueroa, and put up a really good fight against Omar Figueroa.
You know, I think that Ricky's had a lot going on in his life, and I think he's made the weight poorly at 9 stone 9 a few times, but the problem was the Figueroa fight was just too heavy. It was at 10 stone, ended up being at 10 stone 1 because he came in heavy. And like, we really wanted it at sort of 9-11, something like that. And Ricky will return to lightweight now. I believe Ricky can go on and recapture the world title. I do, you know, on the back of that performance. And he's learning a lot more with Tony Sims now, and he's taken a while to gel. But like you've seen in the past, Ricky Burns like sit on the ropes and taking shots. And you're thinking, what are you doing? Like, move. And now he's doing it, and now he's moving his head. Now he's got his jab working again, and he's buzzing. You know, and I think you get a nice, you know, good fight for him in Hull, and I think he can go and fight for the world title.
Definitely, it almost looked like a new revitalised version of Ricky Burns. Like,
I think sometimes going out to America and no pressure, like when he's in Glasgow, it's like the whole nation is on you. Do you know what I mean? It's great to get that support, but it's a lot of pressure as well. And I think just travelling abroad there just changed his outlook a little bit. And I'd love to have him back in America. I mean, they're calling all the time, you know. So, no, good time for Ricky Burns.
Definitely. Just touching on America there. I think 9 days to go now until Paul Smith fights Andre Ward. You know,
I mean, look, what a tough fight. But I just like Paul Smith in that fight. Like, I just think the attitude is, do you know what? We're going to go out there. We're going to have some fun. We're going to absolutely go for this. And he ain't boxed for nearly 2 years, Andre Ward. Like, don't get me wrong, he's unbelievable. And he should beat Paul Smith. But what you got to lose? You know, go out on your shield as he always does. Enjoy yourself in America against a pound for pound great. You know, making a load of money. You know, it could be his last fight.
Yeah.
You never know.
Could be his last fight, but at the same time, it could be the start of something new.
When he fought Arthur Abraham the first time, if he loses, perhaps that'll be the end. Puts out a great fight, rematches him, puts out another great fight, fights Andre Ward. Yeah, so 3 world title fights on the spin now. I think a lot of people were really expecting Arthur Abraham in the first fight to sort of end Paul Smith's career, but when we've seen how good Paul Smith put up that battle, and a lot of people believe Paul Smith won that fight. You know, and then the second fight, maybe Abraham a little bit more. Abraham was a bit better in the second fight, but still, you know, I mean, look at where he's gone from. You know, he's gone from scratching for British titles to being competitive on the world scene. And the reason he got the Andre Ward fight is because of how he performed in the Arthur Abraham fight. So, you know, he deserves a lot of credit, and there's not many fighters that would continue to take these fights. But he's up for it all the time, and he wants to fight the best, and he wants to earn as much money as possible. But every fight is a bonus now, because it was going to potentially be his last one if he lost. Then the rematch, then we get the call from Andre Ward. You know what? Obviously, win Andre Ward, you had it off. But even perform well against Andre Ward, you get another big fight in America. So,
definitely.
You know,
that's what it's all.
These opportunities.
Exactly, that's what it's all about for Paul. Obviously, people are criticising him for fighting Andre Ward because
it's ridiculous. People like that, they just have absolutely zero ambition. It's like me saying to you, listen, mate, I've got this job for you, right? You'll be a bit out of your depth, but I'll tell you what, you're going to make an absolute fortune, and you're going to get a chance to mix it with the very best. What are you going to do? You're going to take it, aren't you? And if you don't, you're a schmuck. You know what I mean? So that's how it is.
Already going with the American words there before we even got there. Yeah, you know, Andre Ward undoubtedly one of the best pound for pound, but it is the best time to fight him, 1,000,000%.
You're never going to get a better time to fight Andre Ward, so go for it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, after Paul Smith, we've got June 26th, Echo Arena, All or Not, and David Price. Sorry, David Price is pulled out now, so Martin Murray, your new signing. Bellew,
Callum
Smith,
against Rebress,
and Rocky against Brian Vera.
When I saw the odds for Callum against Rebress, like, he's a massive favourite. I was like, this is a great fight. I mean, Rebress gave Groves a great fight, and had him badly hurt at times in that fight. He's a massive super middleweight, Rebress. This is a really hard fight, and this is for the WBC silver title. Callum Smith's number 3 in the rankings. Win this, and he'll fight a final eliminator to fight the winner of George Groves and Badou Jack. And by the way, Brian Vera against Rocky Fielding is a really, really tough fight. So they're two really good fights, and, you know, looking forward to that night.
1,000,000%. I think I was a bit surprised myself looking at the odds against Rocky and Rebress.
Rocky's a bit tighter, but Callum's like 25 to 1 on. I mean, it's like, of course he's a favourite, but I mean, he's still a relative novice compared to Rebress.
I think that just shows how highly people are rating Callum Smith. You know, after June 26th, I think the next one is at July 18th.
Massive show. July 2 world title fights. You know,
with Crolla and
Martinez is a fantastic fight. Crolla Perez is a wonderful fight. It's just, boxing's buzzing at the moment. You know, it's so exciting. And it's events like this as well, where people, you know, will tune in, see 20,000 in an outdoor stadium, and go, wow, boxing's massive. You know,
it is starting to build that platform like it was them years ago. You know, Scott Quigg fighting Kiko Martinez. You did say, while the Frampton Quigg fight was potentially going to be made, that if it wasn't successful, Quigg will be in a better fight than Frampton, and, you know, Frampton's just announced this fight.
Listen, I don't, but I mean, it's a pretty poor fight that Frampton's in, but he's going to America, and, you know, he hasn't really got many options over here, so I don't think it's a bad move for him. But obviously it's nowhere near the kind of fight that Scott Quigg is, so hopefully that will get made next.
I'm not going to go on about it too much, but do you think, you know, if Quigg comes through against Martinez and Frampton, as we all expect them?
I do. I think we get that fight made. So, you know, as you just said, exciting times for British boxing. You know, Martin Murray, the newest addition to the Matchroom stable. How did that come across, Eddie? What was the situation? He actually sent me a message on Twitter, private message, and said, would you be interested? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I spoke to him on the phone 5 minutes later, and it was done. I like Martin Murray, I'm a big fan, you know, and he's up for every fight. I said to him, would you fight James DeGale? Yes. Would you fight George Groves? Yes. Would you fight Chavez? Yes. Would you fight Andy Lee? Yes. Like, he won't say no to one fight. Just want to build him a little bit in the UK, give him his profile, get him a little bit more popular, and deliver him a big fight in the UK. 3 fights he's had: Sturm in Germany, Martinez in Argentina.
Which people believe he won both of them fights.
I mean, that Sturm fight I had really close.
He definitely won the Martinez fight.
And Golovkin, he done 11 rounds. So you know, I think that he deserves a lot of credit, and he's a good fun fighter. And I like the Martin Murray versus James DeGale fight.
Most definitely, yeah. Just before we finish, you know, you've got a lot of things planned. You've got this August the 1st, and then we've got September 12th, which is a big show again at the O2. The last card at the O2, we've just had the May 30th bill. You know, as you've said a few times, probably one of the best feedbacks you've got off. It was it was an absolutely amazing night.
Felt good, you know. Obviously, we've had a little bit of bad luck over the last 6 months with fighters getting injured and hit over the head by concrete slabs and stabbed in the legs, and you couldn't really do a lot about it. But May the 30th just gelled, and it was just a night where everyone who tuned in at home on TV, or everyone that was sitting in their seat, turned around and said, "I loved it." And when's the next one? Yeah, and that's great news for boxing.
Yeah, I was there ringside myself, and the atmosphere was just amazing. Really every fight from start to finish, starting with the first fight with Ryan against Hibbert, everything was just perfect that night. Is the September the 12th card, in your opinion, well, what you're going to do, a similar style of card to May the 30th?
I mean, if we do that, it'll have to be a pay-per-view card. So I don't know whether that's possible yet. And it'll have to have James DeGale headlining or Kell Brook headlining against Brendan Rios. And it'll have to have the depth that the other one had. There seems to be an appetite for it. Yeah. Everybody who watched it wants another one. So, and I think the mentality is, if you're going to do that again, I'll pay for it. Give me that quality, I don't mind paying. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, all good, mate. Most
definitely. Just before we finish, you know, Anthony Joshua, you've said, is he definitely going to be fighting on September the 12th? Is that a definite?
Yeah, that'll be definite.
It was going to be Dylan White, but it looks like he's not going to be fit until November. So
that looks like it'll be November. And, you know, very exciting times ahead for him.
That's it, definitely. Well, this has been Paul McKenna for PT Boxing. Best of luck with all the cards in the future, and Paul Smith next week. And thanks a lot for your time, Eddie.
Cheers,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Thanks, mate.